After spending about 376 days in police custody, former Patriot Front PF Deputy Secretary Mumbi Phiri was released after the state entered into a Nolle Prosequi in a matter in which he was jointly charged with former President Edgar Lungu's Babaman, Shebi Chilekwa, of having murdered a United Party for National Development UPND youth Lawrence Banda. This has been received with mixed feelings from different people in the country, among them non-governmental gender organizations coordinating Council NGOCC, who notes with concern the need for the country to reform the law to clip some of the powers of the Office of the Director of Prosecutions, which they allege are subject to abuse. And speaking at a media briefing when commenting on the release of the former Patriot Front PF Deputy Secretary Mumbi Phiri, NGOCC chairperson Grace Sinkamba says it is saddening that Ms. Phiri was released on a Nolle Prosequi instead of being acquitted, as there is no evidence linking her for the murder of Lawrence Banda from the proceedings. She further says that while this may seem to be legal, NGOCC feels that it is an abuse of the legal process against fellow citizens, hence has called upon the United Party for National Development UPND administration to facilitate for a constitutional review process to address the gaps in the national law.
After spending a year plus and some days in the Mongu Correctional Center, it is clear from the proceedings that there wasn't any evidence linking Ms. Phiri to the murder. However, indeed, instead of being acquitted, the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, entered a Nolle. While we appreciate that the Director of Public Prosecutions has the right to enter a Nolle Prosequi any time before judgment, we strongly recommend that there is need for the country to reform the law to clip some of the powers of the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, which are subject to abuse. Over the years, this provision has been used by politicians to circumvent the law and unfairly treat citizens, especially those perceived as political opponents. It is saddening that Ms. Phiri spent 376 days in custody and only to be released on a Nolle. While this may seem to be legal, we feel it is an abuse of the legal process against fellow citizens, which negates our commitment to our Christian values as a nation. We, as the women's movement, we therefore call for the immediate review of our law to ensure that citizens are not punished for crimes they did not commit.
The NGOCC has also implored all the political leaders to avoid any form of political violence that would lead to the loss of life.
We want to implore our political leaders to be more issue-based and avoid any form of political violence that would lead to the loss of life, as was the case in Kaoma, where Lawrence Banda was killed in cold blood.
Margaret Chota, Movie TV News in Lusaka.